that? Like, if you're telling somebody they're taking up more than their allotted space, that's just bullshit PC doublespeak.
A slur of words.
Hey, you're fat. Now, I'm fine with that. I am fat, and that's how I conduct myself in this life. I'm okay. I found a woman who'll fuck me. I got me a chubby chaser. And if I die early because I'm fat, that's my own fucking fault, my choice. But I am not fat enough to eject off of a Southwest Airline flight simply for size. Not yet, motherfucker. I'll tell you when I'm there, because believe me, I'll be talking about it. And I am the guy who, I sat down a toilet and broke it off a wall.
And now, then you told the world.
And I told the whole fucking world, because there's only one way to live with a death mark like that.
Right.
You have to own it. Same with this bullshit with the plane.
Why we're here.
Oh my, absolutely. Because believe me, I was tweeting up a storm while I was waiting for my next flight. So I'm standing at the desk. I said, what's the pilot's name, ma'am? I need the pilot's name. She's going, we don't give that out. I was like, oh, you're going to have to give it out. I'm going to say, it's on all manifest. You have to give me the pilot's name.
Right.
And she was like, well, why? And I was just like, why? Because among the many things that I do, I'm kind of a journalist. And you really think I'm not going to talk about this? I was like, I need the pilot's name, because he was the dude. You told me he was the dude who wanted me off, right? The pilot was? And she's like, that's what I said, sir. And I was like, yeah. But just say it. Like, I'm asking you, did the pilot tell you that I had to be ejected? And she's going, didn't I say why? And I said, don't run around. Just simple yes or no. I was like, are you telling me?
She had no idea what she was dealing with.
Oh, she had no fucking clue, man. I've fought with you so many
times, and I know exactly
I was like that fucking demon that springs up from the earth in Fantasia, man, because I was just like, you fucking have no fucking clue. Yeah. Don't do this to me, lady. I'm way smarter than you. And I just sat there going, I just took her apart. Took her, and you know me, I go lawyer, man. Like, I don't fucking let you speak. And when you speak and say something completely
tears
ignorant,
it apart.
Oh, I'm good. I'm real good at that
word by word.
And this chick was
dismantled
just like,
any logic.
Honestly, in her eyes, what I was suspecting, and I don't know if this is the case, but why I kept asking her, what did the pilot say? Give me the pilot's name. I don't think the pilot said anything. I think it was the dude in the doorway, and she made a decision on her own. But she kept saying, why would I come down, sir? And I was like, I don't know why you came down. Suzanne, I said, but my ass didn't even hit the seat, and you were in my face. And it took longer to get here from the desk than somebody else had to bring you down here. And I think it was the dude in the jetway. And she's like, we have phones. I was like, I realize you have phones, but I know the pilot didn't see me.
Right.
I know. I couldn't see the pilot. He couldn't see me. It is impossible. Tell me the pilot called you down there. And she was like, I told you what happened. I was like, tell me the pilot called you down there. It wasn't
At this
the pilot.
point, are you yelling?
This is the exact voice I'm doing. Luckily, barely anybody around.
I was going to say
2 or 3 people, but I don't
camera
care.
Phones out.
I don't care. Even if there was, I was justified. I was righteous.
Absolutely.
And then we had the whole fucking you're fat. I'm fat, and she's like, I didn't say that. Right. And I was like, ma'am, you still have to tell me why I was ejected from that flight. You still haven't done it. She's like, there are safety issues. And I was like, man, what does that mean? Does that mean that I'm going to explode on a fucking flight? Like, what does that mean? And she was like, could you excuse me? And she went to get a manager. She brings the manager back. And his name was Eric, I think. Eric Diaz or something like that. And he was very, the dude's just like,
what have I walked into here?
Oh, my God. The dude is just like, man, I wish I was at the other desk. Why am I here right now? Because he's been hearing. Flight. Eric's just like, well, we're going to pre-board you on this flight. I was like, oh, dude, don't bother. I said, look, I got tickets A1 and A2. I'm right up front. Right. I mean, I'm the first one on the plane anyway. I don't need pre-boarding, please. Thanks. That's fine. They fucking pre-board me anyway, early. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. Which is embarrassing because everybody else in line is just like, why is he going? Blah, blah, blah. So I go down the jetway and I get on the plane. I immediately go for the first fucking row right up front, cram into my corner. I have the 2 tickets, but they took both of them. So I'm telling the stewardess, I was like, ma'am, I bought 2 seats, but they took both my tickets. She's like, just use your drink voucher, put it there, blah, blah, blah. So I sit down. Start reading the tweets, like reading, the reactions and shit. Because I was like, oh, man, what if everyone's like, you baby? And I was like, oh, how do I explain I wasn't a baby? It's not. 99.9% of just like, oh, my
understanding.
God. Yeah, understanding. Next to me.
Oh, God.
No. Oh, God, but you don't know why. A girl. Very, very large girl. Big like me, maybe bigger. You know what I'm saying? She's one of the more solid ones.
Stocky.
Very stocky. Sits down. So, I'm like,
You're
all
like,
right.
we are fucked.
I was just like, wow, man, did they just create a fat section and put me and this poor girl in it? Like, have we been profiled? So I'm sitting there and, I'm reading my tweets and chuckling and shit like that because people are really funny. Some of their responses are really funny. And I see the stewardess come over to this girl.
Oh, God.
And lean down and blah, 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 and indicate that she should follow her.
No.
And I'm like, you are shitting me.
No.
Like, is this literally happening again to somebody else? Now, I'm sitting in a row with this chick, and there are 3 seats. I'm on the end by the window.
Right.
She's on the other end. The middle seat is the
paid
seat
for.
that's paid for.
Right.
There is no good reason whatsoever to have the following conversation with this poor fucking sweet girl. My heart broke for her. I looked in this girl's face.
Wait, they didn't do the
and
same
I
thing
saw
to her?
our daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Of
I looked
course.
at this girl's face and I saw her. Like, our kid's kind of stocky. She's not
Right.
fucking bad, but she's solid like me. Unfortunately,
Right.
she got my genes. I looked in this girl's face and I saw, and if somebody did this to my daughter, I swear to God, I'd beat the shit out of them. I don't care who it is. And I only find
I'm
out because the
almost
chick
gonna
tells
cry.
me later on.
Uh-huh.
She gets up, leaves, and at one point she comes back and she orders a very stiff drink. And then, we go the whole flight. I'm fucking listening to the iPod and going to sleep and shit like that. We wake up. I wake up about 15 minutes before the flight lands. They say, like, we're going in for a landing. So, at one point we're sitting there and I'm looking around the cabin and we lock eyes and I just smile and she smiles. And then at one point she said, where are you going? And I said, I'm going home, man. I was just in Oakland for the day and blah, blah, blah. I said, but I just had a horrible experience with this fucking airline. I was like, they just booted me off the last flight because I was too fat. And she's going, you're not fat. I was like, well, I mean, I'm fat, but I ain't too fat to be. I went into that diatribe and shit. And she goes, yeah, they just did something like that to me, kind of. I was like, what do you mean? And I knew what she meant, but I didn't want to be like, oh, really? I had to play that card of like, you're kidding. I was like, what do you mean? And she was just like, well, but this part I didn't know. I know they talked to her. I didn't know what it was. And it fucking sickened me. They pulled this poor girl aside and they go, you might have to buy an extra seat, ma'am, because.
Oh my God.
I mean, can you imagine this? And this is poor.
And didn't this fucking crew hear what just happened?
No, apparently not. Apparently
Oh
not,
my
man.
God.
Because that to me says that's the fucking standard operating procedure at
Wow.
Southwest. And I get it. Southwest is like, why should we have to fucking give up 2 seats to fat people? They take up more seats than one. Build thicker seats, motherfucker. This is the United States of America. More people are fat than fucking thin. Be realistic, you cheap sons of bitch. You try to cram as many fucking seats into a plane as possible, and so the seats are fucking doubly fucking thinner than they are. But the people in this country are wider.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a fucking Midwest flight to like Chicago or something like that? I don't understand like what fucking Southwest is building, what clientele they're building a fucking plane for, but they're not human.
Americans.
Yeah, they're not Americans. So anyway, she says that they pull her aside and they're just like, you might have to buy. And they weren't nice. I said, were they at least kind? She goes, she was actually pretty bitchy. This chick took it in such good stride. And you could tell, like, every once in a while you meet somebody, like, look, I grew up fat and I put up with some shit. But then you meet some fat people who are like, oh, man, I had it easy comparatively. You can tell this chick been to, like, Nom, her version of Fat Nom and shit, where she'd been hearing it for a lifetime and shit.
Harder for the girls.
Oh, so much harder. And then, she sits down and the fucking stewardess pulls her out like she's in school to have the conversation in the hallway. Unbelievable. So she said, she
and it wasn't even an issue. There was an empty seat right there
that's my
paid
point.
for.
I said, and she goes,
it was
well,
an unnecessary
you may have to buy-"
embarrassment.
Exactly. She goes, you may have to, and this is a woman to another.